This is another episode of Standup Comedy, your host and MC, celebrating 40-plus years on the fringe of show business. Stories, interviews, and comedy sets from the famous and not so famous. Here's your host and MC, Scott Edwards.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another special Audience of One bonus show. And man, in the studio, one of my oldest friends in comedy. You've seen him in movies, TV, one of the favorite acts ever to come to Laughs Unlimited. Always high energy, always lots of fun. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Babyman Bruce Baum.
Oh, I thank him. By the way, you guys are way too nice. I got to tell you, and I've heard that if you really press your eyes up against the speaker of your radio really hard, you can kind of see me. But you got to really press hard.
Well, ladies and gentlemen,
me, you'll see something.
We're so lucky to have Bruce in the studio. Hey, Bruce, we were just talking before I started recording. You've been on the road a lot. Have you ever worked with Bob Saget? Good friend of ours.
Bob, I was actually an usher at his first wedding.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Bob and I were comedy puppies together.
There you go.
I'll tell you a funny story. This has happened years ago. And Bob told me about this, I think that either the day it happened or the day after. He goes, I must have cut somebody off on the road, and this guy followed me. When I stopped, he got out of the car, big guy. He grabbed me and said, I'm going to fuck you up the ass, and then I'm going to kill you. And Bob said, that's okay, but can you reverse the order?
Bob told him that's funny.
And the guy laughed so hard he let him go.
That's funny. Well, we both had a chance to work with some great guys. Sadly, some of them are gone, like our good friend Bob Saget. Did you ever get a chance to do anything on the road with Mr. Garry Shandling?
We were, back in the early days, Shandling, Saget, and I, we roamed around town together.
Three peas in a pod.
3 peas in a pod, or 3 pods in a satchel. But yeah, we were with each other all the time, day and night. So, but Garry, by the way, Garry used to do a lot of bit about his hair.
Yeah, he had like perfect hair, and it always looked, immaculate. But it was kind of big. It was special.
Kind of big. And I got to tell you, my wife, I believe, is the one that got him starting doing bits about it.
That would be Lynn, right?
That would be Lynn. Garry used to come over to the house all the time.
Okay.
And he came over one day. He goes, I'm going on a date tonight. How do I look? And Lynn went, you look great, but are you going with your hair like that? He goes, and he's tapping and said, what's wrong with my hair? She says, well, it's riding kind of high. You think my hair is riding kind of high? Yeah. And then he turned it into a bit. So,
so he took her helpful critique and decided to make material out of it.
Yeah. And but we were great friends. Here's a story that happened with Garry Shandling, Jeff Dehart, who some of you may remember from the early days of comedy. He still works on the East Coast, I believe, and his son is a batting coach for the Seattle Mariners.
There you go. Jeff Dehart was a regular at my club, along with Garry, of course.
So we were driving. This was actually the way I do it differently in my act. I'm going to tell you the way it happened.
Okay.
We were playing in San Diego at the Comedy Store, and we were all on the same bill, Dehart, Shandling, and myself.
Great show.
And when the show was over, we couldn't find Dehart. So we decided to go back to the car and just go back to the condo. Well, we go back to the car, and Dehart is asleep on the driver's side. No, he's in the driver's seat.
Right.
Asleep. And so Garry gets into the passenger seat. And as I heave myself onto the hood, Garry goes, Jeff, look out! And Jeff opens his eyes and starts spinning the wheel. And he either shit in his pants or it was the worst fart I ever smelled.
We scared the crap out of him.
Oh, we did. That's when you say scare the crap out.
So you jumped up on the hood like he'd just run you over. Oh, I bet that was a moment.
Yeah. We couldn't stop laughing, and Jeff kept going, you assholes! You fucking assholes! You know, like when someone hits you and it's funny, like it's not hard enough to like hurt. It was
Right.
like that. So yeah, that was.
Oh, that's a great story. Well, Bruce, I know that you've had decades of great stage experience, but now in your kind of semi-retirement, aren't you doing some hot sauces?
I'm making my own sauce, Noggin Blast.
You
hot
make
sauce.
it yourself. Where do the peppers come from?
I grow the peppers organically,
Wow.
and everything else was organically certified except
Okay.
the purified water. It's purified water.
Okay.
But it's no salt. It's tasty. It's hot, but it's not so hot you can't eat it. And we've also got when I say us, I mean me, a culinary rub that you can rub.
Oh, like a dry rub for meat.
Right, you can rub it on your meat. You can rub it on your veggies. You can rub it on your spouse or your significant other.
Have some fun.
Have some fun.
But this is a real rub that would actually add some great flavor to any
Yes.
vegetable or meat. And what makes it extra special?
The taste, the ingredients. It's all great ingredients.
Well, you were sharing with me about your ghost peppers end up in the rub.
Yes, they do. What I do in the rub, in every bottle of rub, there is a dried habanero or ghost pepper, kind of like the worm in tequila.
Okay.
So that if the rub isn't hot enough, you can crinkle it yourself and make it even hotter. But then be careful where you put your fingers.
Well, I think it's just so nice that you're being thoughtful that if you want just a regular tasting, really wonderful rub, that you could yourself make it hotter by mixing in the habanero or the ghost pepper. And then you have the hot sauce, which I think you have several different labels, right?
Yeah, well, it's Noggin Blast, but several flavors. Sometimes we have habanero mango. We've got ghost pepper blueberry lime. What do we got now? We've got Serrano cherry.
Oh, wow.
And garlic pepper with massive garlic.
Wow, I would love that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you, Bruce, for sharing a little comedy. But if you get a chance, go to nogginblast.com, NOGGINBLAST.com. I know they have some holiday packages. I've actually tried his hot sauce. It's amazing. And this brand new dry rub sounds good. Bruce, what do people that try your product say?
I got to tell you, I'm not making this up. But the reviews have been phenomenal. We got one this week from Gary Kroger from SNL.
Yeah.
Who, called it extraordinary. And he's not saying it because we're friends, but lots of flavor, I should put reviews out because they've all been good. Some people, I modestly will say, have said it's the best they've ever had. But I say that modestly.
Modestly. And ladies and gentlemen, there's nobody as modest as Bruce Baum. Well, well, Bruce, thanks for joining us in the studio and sharing a couple old stories with old friends Bob Saget and Garry Shandling and Jeff Dehart. Ladies and gentlemen, next Sunday we'll have another great show. And in the meantime, go to nogginblast.com. Bruce, thanks for joining me.
Thank you for letting me be joined.
Bye-bye.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Stand-Up Comedy, your host and MC. For information on the show, merchandise, and our sponsors, or to send comments to Scott, visit our website at www.standupyourhostandmc.com. Look for more episodes soon and enjoy the world of stand-up comedy. Visit a comedy showroom near you.